on, y'all? This is an impromptu live stream tonight. We got a little impromptu live stream. A couple of us were doing our thing, and we happened to notice that, well, we had talked about
We
it earlier, right? Talked about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. And so I happen to know that we have a pretty good, well, he's a pretty good authority on cryptocurrency. Y'all don't realize it, but Steven's pretty heavy into crypto. So I figure I would just come on and he would come on and we'd have a little chat here and talk a little crypto and, see what's going on.
Silver Fox, what's up? I mean, might as well. We're watching it do a little run right now. It's kind of crazy. But as the market does, when Bitcoin starts moving, everything starts following. I mean, Bitcoin supposedly, according to this chart, up 12%. Trying to beat up against that. It's under 34,000 right now, just under. It's trying to beat up against that 35.
Yep. See, I was gonna. I wanted to bring up the chart so everybody can see the chart. Right now, I'm showing 34,578, and it's still going. This is on the 1 hour chart. We'll break it down to a 15-minute chart, and just so everybody can see just how bananas this thing's been going. So this is the. You know what? Let me get rid of this. I don't need the RSI. Actually, the RSI is pretty high too right now, considering it. But look at this big jump. I mean, that is a hell of a jump. We're talking $6,000 in the last 3 days in price. At least 6K in the last 3 days.
And what do you have? So what are those two yellow lines?
All right. So when you look at my chart, I can get this out of here. We don't need, wait a minute. No, is that my? No, we need that line. So that's my trend line. This is my long-term trend line here. The red lines, my red lines represent 1 day price, 1 day supply, 1 day levels. Okay. The yellows represent 4 hour time frames. So what I do with these, with the 1 day in crypto, I measure in 4 hours. In regular stock assets, I measure in 1 hour increments. So I'll always have red daily supply demand zones or support resistance zones. And then in crypto, it's 4 hour support resistance, which are yellow. And regular stocks, Tesla, Nvidia, whatever, SPY. I use 1 hour support resistance areas. So that
you got people saying hi.
We got people in the. Oh, what's going on? Who we got here? We got Silver Fox. What's happening? We also look who's there. Look at there she is. Nomadic Gigi Khan Mon Ceci is in here. And Richie also, we was talking with him. Richie, you got the invite, buddy. You can run home and join us anytime you want. I know you're big into the crypto space, you and Steven.
Had to turn off both of the apps. They keep on giving me alerts for rides it's not even offering me. Don't trust crypto, but I would consider it. Hey, that's a good mindset to have. Look, I tell people when I explain to them how crypto works, I tell them if you can take 20 to 40 bucks, every paycheck, let's say every paycheck, whether it's you got one check every 2 weeks, or you got one that comes once a month. If you can take 20 to 40 bucks and it's not a big deal, like you go get fast food, it's probably going to cost you 20 bucks. Why not throw it at something that could potentially, boost your reserves of cash? Why not?
Exactly.
So, I mean, you don't got to trust it. You can take your time and learn it with small amounts of cash that really aren't going to affect your life, but it could become life-changing wealth. You never know.
Oh, 100%. 100%. We're going to break 35,000 here in the next 10 minutes. You know that, right?
Hey,
for me, do we know what the speculation is, why it's pumping?
I have no information because I haven't been really watching it like that. This is kind of foreign territory to me, but I heard what your idea was.
Well, it's all because of the ETF, the spot ETF. They're finally going to approve a spot ETF, which is going to allow people to now invest in the space without physically having to invest in Bitcoin. They'll be investing in the the ETF version of it, which you know how that goes. SPY is an ETF for the S&P 500. It's going to be a collective. So
can you give us for somebody like me that doesn't know what an ETF is? What happens with an ETF? What is it?
Well, you know what? Let's do it this way. This way you don't take it from me, you take it from the dictionary.
What's good, Melvin?
It's an
I remember Bitcoin back in 2010.
Fund. So can you guys see this? Here, let me blow it up for you.
You're gonna have to blow it up.
So an ETF is an exchange traded fund. It's a type of pooled investment security that operates much like a mutual fund. So SPY, the spider, is an ETF for the S&P 500. So the SPY ETF is a culmination of trade. If you're trading SPY, you're trading the entire S&P. So with this crypto ETF, this Bitcoin ETF, I'm not sure what they're going to put in it, but it's going to be more like a collective instead of individual assets. Does that make sense?
So if I understand correctly, it'll be like Bitcoin, Ethereum, like a few different coins, and
I would think. I haven't done much looking into that ETF, but I never looked at any of the crypto space for anything other than what it is, individual coins, because there's so many scam coins in it. What was the latest thing there? Non-fungible tokens, NFTs. I still don't see the value in NFTs. I just never have. I know you've explained it. You've seen it. You see the value in it. I don't. That's why me in the crypto space, I don't like a collective. You know what I mean? I prefer Bitcoin is Bitcoin, Ethereum's Ethereum, Litecoin, Chainlink, Graph, whatever, Solana, XRP, whatever, Doji, whatever. I like them as an individual. I don't like them collective. Because remember this, when Bitcoin pumps, altcoins, which is everything else, usually doesn't. There's only two other coins that pump when Bitcoin pumps. That's Ethereum and Litecoin. Everything else doesn't move because everybody's shoving their money into the big three. That's what I consider the big three. Now, when Bitcoin's not pumping, everybody runs over to the altcoin. So there's an alt season. You remember this. There's an altcoin season. There's a Bitcoin season. Well, you've got the spot ETF that everybody's now pumping. And BlackRock is Fink, the CEO Fink is heavily behind this Bitcoin ETF. They are all in. So yeah, we're gonna see some movement here, I think. So let's bring it back over here. 34.8.
Because what I think of when you say mutual fund, I'm thinking about in the same realm of thinking like a REIT, a real estate investment trust, where they buy multiple pieces of property and it's all owned and the value of it is put up against this mutual fund so that people can buy into it and they can gain value. They'll gain value in the rents. They don't necessarily take over the ownership of the properties, but they buy shares in order to have a monetary compensation based off of how much they put into this the REIT.
Yeah, so I know what a REIT is. I'd never really dealt with that. There's one thing I do want to do here real quick.
Oh, I'm just taking it to a basic for those who are coming into crypto and never dealt with stocks or haven't done any research on different forms of stocks, giving them opportunity to understand how this stuff works. Because I'm much bigger into crypto than I am to stocks. I find stocks for myself, I find it to be a much slower and maybe even to a certain extent dangerous way to make money for younger investors or people that aren't affluent. Just because it takes a lot of time and it keeps you stuck in the grind, it keeps you a cog. I think one of the biggest benefits to certain avenues to wealth is being able to get there in a quicker manner, and then also the volatility. Volatility is extremely important. You don't gain value from a lack of volatility.
Correct. Well, volatility, and bro, we're already at 34.9, 34.9. You can see it here. We're going to go to 5,000. right? Next stop, I think I called this
close.
when I got home. When I got home, Steven, I said next stop 35.4. So if we can get up over that 35,000, bro.
I'm wondering how many people are down at 29 and are selling off right now. Boom. Hit it. 35.
This is awesome, dude. Awesome.
See, look, how many people have it right at 35 that they're selling off, that it keeps bouncing back down like that?
Well,
it's not going above 35.
Well, look at it this. Look at it this way. This is
there you go. It broke through.
Yep. And look at your volume though. So here, the red and the green here are your volume bars.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got good volume on the 15-minute chart, right?
Mm-hmm.
So right now, hold on. We're talking on this candle right now, 1.3. Yeah, so 1.3 thousand, 1,300. 1,300 Bitcoin are moving. So remember now, Bitcoin is a collection of pieces, right? Bitcoin isn't sold as one whole Bitcoin.
Right.
But you've got enough trading volume where you're at 1.4.
They're sold as Satoshis. The smallest form of a Bitcoin is a Satoshi.
But the volume's good. Volume is solid, man. Volume's good. Now, let's see if this will line up and see if we can get something going here. Now I'll tell you where the volume is. So on the 15-minute chart, based off right here, right now, here at this 30,000, let's see, it would be like 30,500 to 31,060. There's a lot of volume in here where it was bought and sold. So the more these lines move out, the more this bar graph moves out, the higher the volume. Trading in that on this particular time frame. You follow me? So say we go to a 1 hour chart, right? Down in here at the 30,000 range, there was a lot of people that bought and sold Bitcoin. Mm-hmm. Lots of people bought and sold Bitcoin. But then you see this gap in here. You see this big green candle right here. Mm-hmm. And you see how low this volume is right here. That's why that candle was so aggressive, because there was nothing here to stop it. There was no buying or selling going here. So if you caught it here at 31.6, it immediately ran up all the way to 35,000. You see how it wicked? Mm-hmm. And then immediately there were people at 35,000 that were selling. Right back down. So just something to think about.
So right there at the peak of selling volume, all the way up higher? Yeah. Up higher.
Okay. Where at?
On that one. So yeah, they're at that much selling volume. So are you saying all that selling volume was completely satisfied, and that's why they were able to move up to the next level?
That's why I was able to keep going, right? Mm-hmm. You had enough sellers here, and the buyers.
And what price was that up there?
This was in that 33.2 to 33.7.
Mm-hmm.
So now we'll see how it keeps going here.
I'm wondering how many of those sellers were at the 29s and whatnot, or maybe even caught it in the 26s.
Well, now here's another way to look at it. So now we're on a daily chart. So each candle represents one day. Okay. On this time frame, when we look at our buyers and sellers here, we're way down here at 27,000. Once it hit 29, off to the races. Look at that big difference there. Look how weak the graph is here on the 1 day, and look how aggressive that bullish candle is.
So I find it interesting that why aren't the buying candles much larger in those areas or the price just jumps to the next selling price?
Well, that's what it'll always do. If you've got no sellers, buyers will keep snapping it up, supply demand. And then once it hits a certain area, we're going to see. So let's see, because I haven't looked at it in this respects. Let's take a look at this real quick. Let's see what we can find. Now we're on a weekly chart. Okay. This is a big chart. We can see that here we're going to get, when we get into that 39, 40,000, 44,000 range here, you're going to have sellers. You're going to have people that have been holding the bag since this thing was at 69,000. they're going to be looking to get out and just recover what they can.
Right.
They're exhausted now, right?
Mm-hmm.
They've exhausted their hopium. Their hopium's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So then now these guys coming in, these buyers are going to be able to snatch and grab it. So we're looking at two major things, and then here's the all-time high on Bitcoin right here, right there. All right, so what's that? 69.2, somewhere around in that range. Notice there's no sellers up there because there's nobody up there. There's nothing to go past. That's it. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes through here. Will the ETF be strong enough? And I want to bring this all the way back to a 15-minute chart now. Will the ETF be strong enough and the halving be strong enough to drive Bitcoin to, to $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 again? That's going to be the question, I think. You would know better, but I'm just curious if that ETF, with the institutional money coming back into it, because now remember, your ETF isn't on a crypto. It's not a blockchain.
Right.
ETF is going to be traded right alongside NASDAQ, right alongside SPY. All of that's where it's going to be traded. It's going to be traded on the open stock market. It's a shit ton of money in the stock market.
True. I'm wondering if they're going to wait on this ETF to 100K, says Richie.
Yeah, you know what? And God bless him. I hope he's right. Y'all will never hear from me again. I'll be gone. See ya. Y'all get a postcard.
I still think that there's a lot of inflation in the market, even with this moving up because of the ETF. If that's the main reason, I think there's still a lot of inflation in the market. A lot of people that are betting on the market that are causing the values to be skewed. I think we still need to see Bitcoin drop, but I mean, hey, we're on a run right now. I can't deny that, and we have good reasons for why it's going up. But I'm still expecting some sort of drop before we start seeing a takeoff.
Depends, bro. At any moment, they could okay that ETF, and once that ETF happens, I'm with Richie. We're out of here. Bitcoin's going to rip. And so you got to hope that if you're in this space, if you're in the crypto space, you want to be already there.
Right.
You know,
yeah,
or you want to have your money on the sidelines and have your avenue to buy, whether it's through Coinbase, Binance, whomever it is, Gemini, whoever it is that you use for this type of asset, this type of purchase. You want to be ready.
The unfortunate thing is the limitations that are placed so that you can't quickly move assets into a way that you can convert from a fiat currency into digital or into crypto. These limitations you can kind of sidestep by using multiple platforms, like a KuCoin and a Coinbase and something like that. But for the average investor, unfortunately, dropping a large amount, let's say more than a couple of $1,000s or something like that, will get you hemmed up while you're trying to get these transactions to go.
Well, so and we all know that Coinbase is notorious for having what's the right word? They're notorious for having issues.
Right. Yeah. All of a sudden, there's too many trades going on, so you can't do anything.
Yeah.
But we've had. I mean, there's other exchanges that run into the same problem, and it's like, right. So right when I'm about to pull out, so I can make some of these gains and keep some of these gains, all of a sudden I can't move my money. Okay.
I'm. You know what? They haven't had to have a an issue, right? Technical difficulties, degraded systems in a long time because Bitcoin has just been consolidating.
Nothing's been moving. Yeah.
Right. It's just been a big consolidation. And for those who don't know what consolidation is, let me show you what consolidation is. Bitcoin, since it's just been sitting right in this area. Consolidation, bouncing right around in this area. Bouncing here. And I know on the afternoon show I do this a lot. When we talk about like just consolidation zones. So look how these zones light up. Look how zones light up with the volume indicator. You see how all the volume, it's bouncing in there, buying and selling. Bouncing in here, the buying and the selling. So these things are important to know. You know, I always try to point that out. But it's consolidation, right? And now we're no longer consolidating. But it has to clear this 35.4 to get into the next level. If it can't do that, and I know I'm moving the charts around a little bit, but if it can't break out above this 35 and get to 36.9, then we could see a retracement. We could see it come snap right back. But we kind of did, right? We kind of did see. You know what? You go ahead and talk a little bit. I'm gonna do a few things here real quick. Hold on.
We got the rideshare culture saying Monday night stream. Nice. I don't know, Richie. Nice, so wait, do you have your what's up?
I said it'd be nice if Ron showed back up.
Richie, so are you saying you already got your position? Are you gonna be buying into the ETF, Richie? Or are you just gonna keep going into your will you keep increasing your bag on Bitcoin? Well, actually, I guess you said that's what you're working towards, so I can't even knock you for that. Individual stocks require more sophistication. ETFs are simple. That makes sense. I mean, the whole idea and the reason. So, for example, real estate investment trust, the REIT, the benefit there is it's safer money. But because it's safer money, and you're almost guaranteed to make your earnings off of it, the returns are very small. In which case, it's only really advantageous to you if you have a large amount of money or you have a lot of time to leave your money invested to make gains. So yeah, any kind of investment that is easy, and easy to understand is going to pay you out the least. Prime example, somebody was explaining to me, is like, okay, there's certain stages when you go out into the middle of nowhere and you're going to build a city or something like that. It's like, when you first go out someplace into the middle of nowhere, the first investors, they're going to probably make 80% out of their investment, if it's successful. But they're going to be the ones, building out the first few buildings. They're going to be the ones that are there waiting for law enforcement, firefighters, and all that stuff to come into the area. By the time that stuff comes in, you're talking about making 50 to 60%. Then when you got stuff like stores and malls and you're getting a little bit of personality in that city that you're building, then you're talking about making 30 to 40%. And then now when you start really getting people to come in with real estate and other types of investments, you're talking about making 20 to 30%. Once a place is already built out and established, you're not going to get the kind of gains that the people that were willing to risk it all at the start are making. Sounds like a Ponzi scheme. So you're basically saying any type of building, any type of structure is a Ponzi scheme.
Well, I mean, you could look at the entire stock market as a Ponzi scheme.
Well, yeah, it is.
All of it.
The whole concept of they always have to go up is that's a scheme for sure.
Oh, 100%. When we look at Bitcoin in the past, we've seen this huge this huge retracement and fall from grace, if you will. When everybody said, oh, we knew Bitcoin was full of shit. I mean, was it? Was it really? I mean, here we go. We got this big pipeline down here. And I'm trying not to overrun too many lines, but let's do this regression. Let's do this because this will show itself. Right? This was a big fall from way back when. That was huge. From the high to the low in 2022, right? It was down here at 16. Yeah. No, that was a lot less than that, bro. We were down at $4,000 at one time. BTC fell hard. Where was it at? Let me get there.
I'm still thinking a sub 10,000 Bitcoin.
Here we go. So here was when I got this one Bitcoin. Was in this range here. That March of 2020, that was the month, March 20th or March 22nd of 2020 is when the whole world shut down, right? That was the whole pause thing, right? And Bitcoin came all the way down and bottomed out at about 38.8, right. 3,800. Now we look at it, right? Yeah, we ran up, it retraced, almost a perfect retracement too, if we wanted to look at it. But I'll start getting too many lines on here and confuse the shit out of people. I don't want to do that. But if you're into the fib retracements, right? There's your fib retracement. It was perfect, absolutely perfect. And here we go again. As Bitcoin becomes more adopted as a security, as a store of value, rather, not a security, a store of value, the more you're going to see the price of Bitcoin shoot up, just like gold. This is digital gold, y'all. Digital gold.
Once they change that classification, yeah.
See, and God, what I don't want is the whole point of Bitcoin was to be decoupled from the rest of the from the rest of the money in the world, right? That's Bitcoin. We agree was supposed to be not controlled by the banks, right? Decentralized. Right. We the people control this,
right?
We the people assign the value, but yet every time we turn around, every single government's tried to shut it down, and now the central bank. How much do you know about the central bank digital dollar? Isn't that something that was like, oh, Bitcoin sucks. Bitcoin sucks. It's a Ponzi scheme. But here, we're going to create our own digital dollar.
Well, yeah, the whole idea was to scare people, is to keep scaring people away from crypto. It's only used by criminals. The idea is to scare people away from crypto until they're ready to launch their own projects involving crypto. And many governments are working on their own digital currency. They've got you got the digital dollar, but they're all called classified as CBDCs, central bank digital currencies. And then they'll be like, oh yeah, we got the safe cryptos for you to get into. They're run by us. We manage them. We make sure it's safe. We'll be able to reverse transactions if anybody ever steals money from you, all that kind of thing. But then the same problems will come up. That's the problem with the banks currently. They take money and invest. They take money from you and they don't have to keep it. They take it and invest it. And then if they go under, they'll say, thanks for the donation.
Yeah, exactly. Silver Fox says the idea of Bitcoin is great in practice. Wait a minute. The idea of Bitcoin is great, just in practice it's not. I disagree with you. I think the idea of Bitcoin, the blockchain, which is understand what Bitcoin is. It's nothing more than a fully transparent ledger. That's what blockchain is. So fully transparent ledger. Well, Bitcoin is a fully transparent ledger, correct?
I need to do a little bit more research on that. I believe that's what it was. Yeah, I believe that's what it was, but I don't know if it's ever been reset. I know Ethereum has. They've reset transactions. They jump back in time on their ledger. I need to make sure that that's true, that Bitcoin's never been altered in any way, shape, or form. The way it's been running for a long time, though, it's a secure ledger that has no third part or some party controlling it. It's a decentralized ledger from what it seems.
Right, and that's what I like about Bitcoin. There are no central banks. So to answer Silver Fox's question, where he says he seems to move with the stock market, for the longest time it did not. If the stock market went one way, Bitcoin went the opposite direction. But then when the institutions, all the banks, Jamie Dimon sat there and said, oh, Bitcoin's a Ponzi scheme, it's trash, yada, yada, yada. Yet they were the first ones to open up a Bitcoin cryptocurrency desk. While they were telling the public, don't touch it, they were buying it up. Yep. And while they were buying it up, they ran it up. And then once it hit the 69,000, then they started selling it off. So retail didn't get to take over. Retail had it. Institutions came in and grabbed it. They sold it back off. And retail was like, well, shit, we don't want you now. So that's why we had the big, I believe, that's why we had the big loss in value. But now, slowly but surely, countries like El Salvador, right, that have adopted Bitcoin as their currency, and in other countries, and the more adoption we get, the more we can keep the governments out of it, the better it's going to be.
Yeah, but that's not going to happen. This is what I was telling Richie. The reason why that's not going to happen is because they're going to be the gatekeepers. If you know anything about the gold buyback, it's going to be very similar to that. History, they say history doesn't necessarily repeat itself, but it rhymes. Like when the gold buyback happened and it was illegal to own gold in the United States, they took that as they made it illegal and then accumulated as much of it as possible. They didn't necessarily go door to door knocking to get people's gold. The way that they controlled gold is by the places where they were mining for it and the places that were responsible for processing it. So if you think that they can't control it through your gatekeepers, which is going to be your Coinbase and whatnot, that make it easy for individuals to be able to interact with these blockchains, then you're mistaken. Most people have no idea how to move crypto around without using one of these platforms. And that's where they're going to control most of the stuff. Can you move it without these platforms? Yes. You can move it without a KuCoin. You can move it without a Coinbase. But most people don't know how to do that. Most people don't even have a hardware wallet, which is one of the most basic things you should have if you're involved in crypto. Look, I have a decent wallet. This is extremely important to have. And then over here, I have a Ledger Nano S. This is my X. This is my X.
There you go.
Ledger Nano X.
There you go.
But if you don't have a hardware wallet and you're playing around in crypto, you're just asking for somebody to take your crypto. For example, using something like, what is it? I'm forgetting the website where they just recently started letting you buy crypto. And it'll come back to me. I forgot the site, but they don't actually let you buy your own crypto. They let you buy shares that they own. So you can't move that to your own private wallet. Having your own private wallet.
Robinhood was like
there you go. Robinhood. That's it.
Yeah, Robinhood like that. Webull, who is that's my stock trading outfit. Webull, if I trade crypto on there, I don't own the assets.
Right.
It's not like me buying, 10 shares of Tesla and I own Tesla. It's a completely different. I agree with you there.
Yeah. PayPal. Yeah, I wouldn't buy. I don't know if PayPal lets you move your crypto once you purchase. If it does not, then that means you don't own your crypto. They can steal it from you at any time.
Yep.
You basically gave them the keys and said, "Do whatever you want with it. I trust you to hold my stuff for me."
Well, that's the bottom line. If you don't have your 12-word security code, you don't own the asset.
Or if you give somebody else access to it,
if you don't have the keys, brother, you don't own it.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's for free, you're the product. Remember that. Where we at here? 34.7, chilling like a villain. What do you think? You think we're gonna get over 35 and stay over 35 tonight? There.
I don't think we stay over 35, but I wouldn't be surprised. I don't think so though. I think we're gonna chill a little bit. We're gonna go down, and if anything, we'll see some more action tomorrow.
All right. So I just want to point this out to everybody. This is TradingView. In the rolling 1 year, Bitcoin is up 77.7%. In year to date, Bitcoin is up 110%. The last 6 months, 22%. The last 3 months, 19%. In the last month, you could have made 30% on your money. And you're not too late to the party. Just because the price of Bitcoin is 34,000 right now doesn't mean nothing. It means absolutely nothing. Because remember, Bitcoin is fractional. It's fractional. You own a fraction of a Bitcoin and can still make money. If you put $100 in today and it doubles up, $200, $300, $400. What are some of the other coins you like, Steven? I know you've got a couple of altcoins you've dealt with.
Yeah, most of mine are altcoins. Let me see. I'm gonna pull up but most of mine are the cryptos that are going to be used for banking. But let me see here. Okay, so I watch Bitcoin and Ethereum. I don't actually hold them, but I watch them. I also was watching Tether just because there was a lot of question about these quote unquote stable coins and whether or not they were going to, we had some that failed recently with the, what is it? the Luma, the Terra Lumas, and the I forgot what the other coin was that went along with that, but I mean, that was a prime example of stable coins just falling apart. And it was a question of whether or not all of them were going to fall apart. My biggest holding is XRP, but I also hold Stellar, Hedera Hashgraph, HBAR, VeChain, which is a logistics crypto. It's supposed to be keeping track of movement of goods and not movements of goods and where they are along that chain of movement. So, for example, keeping track of things that are on trucks, whether or not the temperature is properly maintained in these trucks, the locations that they end up at. And let's say let's say it's milk. One batch of milk goes bad. They can remove that without completely clearing out the store of everything that they've got, because they can just remove that one batch. XDC. And then I watch XPR and Cytherium, which is another crypto that's supposed to work in the background for banks. So those are mainly
a lot.
Yeah.
That is a lot. But I do like the idea that you're saying the altcoins that you watch they have actual use case.
Yeah. I primarily look at cryptos that are use case. There are some that I want to get into that are into the gaming space. But and then some for privacy. So I know a lot of people tend to go with Monero, but I like there's one called Pirate, I believe. And there's another one called Ghost, I think it is. And those are the two privacy tokens that I'm into, but I'm not really interested in Monero. Though I hear some good things about it, but it seems like it's a little bit under the scope too much, and I don't really want to deal with that. XRP is under the scope enough for me.
Yeah. Well, actually, XRP is not under that scope anymore. Now it's they won their battle, right? Their legal battles are over.
I mean, so supposedly, and the leaders, the owners of the company are not under for Ripple aren't under as much scrutiny now, and at least they're not under the lawsuit anymore. But what that means, the damage that's been done over the years while they were trying to build more business relationships and whatnot, that's still it's still taking a toll. I think that was initially the plan anyway, to just slow them down while they get the rest of whatever projects they need for the government and whatnot ready. Because surprisingly enough, none of the other countries were trying to sue this company. And
just ours.
Yeah. In which the funny thing is, they are on the digital dollar project. Ripple's on the digital dollar project. Yes. It makes absolutely no sense. If they are this nefarious company, why are they on the project helping develop the new digital dollar?
That was the whole shuck and jive. Mm-hmm. That was the whole shuck and jive. That was the whole 3-card Molly move that the federal government pulled on the American people when it came to cryptocurrency. That was it. It's like, we're going to sue you over here, but meanwhile, you're going to help us set our digital dollar up.
Yeah,
that was the con. Anyway, Silver Fox has a question for you. He says, what exactly moves the value of Bitcoin up? Demand for purchasing?
I think supply and demand would normally move up the value, as well as you got a proof of work system, right? There's 3 different main ways that crypto is moved around. Either it's through a proof of work system, a proof of stake system, or you have Hedera, which has their own system called Hashgraph, right? So mining for crypto and solving the equations that allow for transactions to occur, I think a little bit of that has an effect on the price of crypto. Hype, obviously hype and getting people invested or getting big names involved in Bitcoin is moving up the value of Bitcoin, because scarcity is going to drive the value. If it seems like there's less available and you can't get your hands on it, it's only worth what people are willing to pay on it, just like anything else. So, okay. But I think that you've got big institutions that hold a lot of Bitcoin, and when it's harder to be able to buy Bitcoin, and you see stuff like this where you got these graphs where there's a bunch of buying, the price is going to naturally shoot up. I mean, that's supply and demand. Now I think it's manipulated supply and demand, I think there's certain entities that have a lot of Bitcoin and they work together to supply a certain amount or make big moves of buying that causes the value of Bitcoin to go up. I think also one of the big effectors is when there's crazy things going on in the world, it's easy to move Bitcoin. It's hard to move hard assets, right?
Right.
So if you got to flee from, this is one of the big ones that my dad likes to use. If you need to flee from another country, you think you're just going to be able to move your money with you? You think you're going to be able to just go to the bank and grab your money and then go on a plane? Nobody's going to check through your stuff or take anything from you? Or you can just carry it with you in your bag and nobody's going to try to ruffle through your stuff and steal from you. It was a big thing. I mean, gold and silver, physical gold and silver. I believe in physical gold and silver. It's probably one of the best things you can keep. But to a certain degree, you don't want that much on you because it just makes you a big target. So in that case, if you take Bitcoin, if you go and you transfer your already digital currency into something like a crypto like Bitcoin, and there's a large amount of Bitcoin being transferred through the system, it's going to naturally, or a lot of purchasing, right? Because you're purchasing for fiat. It's going to drive up the value against the currency that's being traded for crypto. And I think when a lot of that happens, the value of Bitcoin shoots up.
Agreed. So anybody got any more questions out there? We wanted to come on for a little bit. I don't know how often we're going to do this. Steven has been wanting to get more into the cryptoverse or back into the cryptoverse. So I'm going to be the guy that helps push him there. And what's the name of that channel?
Exactly what you said. Too big and too heavy. I mean, too heavy and too valuable. Exactly. You're going to lug this stuff around while you're just trying to survive. It doesn't make any sense. But I also, on the other side, because some people might say, well, then just buy paper gold, buy paper silver. I don't think that's a good idea either. So let's say you buy paper gold or paper silver, and the place that you have it stored is under attack now. You really think you're going to get back your gold and silver? You say, hey, look, my paper says that I own bar number 6 right there in that stack right there.
Right. Yeah.
You're not going to get your gold. You're not going to get your silver. And
right.
It's something that I try to tell people all the time. Is like, look, the benefit if you have your keys or you store your keys online, it's inconceivable to think that the entire internet's going to shut down. That's just not going to, It's not going to work. And as long as thank you, paper gold is worthless. If the internet, the only way that these crypto platforms, because they can run without the need of the companies that develop them. That's the benefit to the crypto exchanges. So, and multiple computers around the world are creating the nodes that allow for the new block in these blockchains to exist or to create new blocks. So, unless you think the internet's going down, you're going to have a much higher likelihood of keeping your stored value online rather than having it physical. What's going on? Yeah, this is new. We're just talking a little crypto. Oh yeah, and that's the other thing. This is what I keep hearing, that actually silver is much more valuable than gold. I keep hearing that. It's more scarce and it's a more usable resource. But I hear that the markets are manipulated and skewed toward gold. So,
I heard one time that if you took every ounce of gold that had ever been mined in human history, you could not fill an Olympic-sized swimming pool. I heard that and I was like, wait a minute, I'm thinking Egypt. I'm thinking the big sun gods, the Ra, and whatever the dog-headed people were called, you know. And I'm thinking those were out of gold, you know.
Well, not the whole thing. A lot of that was plated. Right? Yeah, well, and that's the thing. You can make gold so thin. It's ridiculous how thin you can make. Like they said, if you made a Bible out of gold, it would be like this.
That's crazy, right?
You know, so yeah, gold can be pounded extremely thin. They call it gold leaf. Is there anything that can cause the blockchain to fail? Yeah, I mean, a poor design blockchain can fail extremely easily. And then even a well-developed.
Yeah, but when we're talking about Bitcoin, Bitcoin has yet to been cracked. It has never been manipulated. It has never been. God damn it, help me out! I can't think of the damn. Can't think of the term. Are you serious right now? Not hijacked,
cracked.
Hacked.
Yeah,
Right. Bitcoin, the blockchain has not been hacked. Plus, keep in mind, blockchain, right, is checked thousands of times per minute to verify. So if there's one bad line of code and there's 1,000 lines of good code on that block, the bad code gets thrown out, the good code is recorded, and that's how they take care of it. So I guess anything, right? Anything, Stevens, nothing's invaluable.
Right.
But it's goddamn hard.
And the other thing you have to take into account is the main problem with Bitcoin is that it's extremely difficult to upgrade, almost to the sense that they just have to create a new Bitcoin in order to make upgrades to it, right?
Right.
Which is extremely bad. And when you think about the potential of newer technology coming in that can generate the numbers fast enough to break how Bitcoin works. So is it breakable, and is it likely to be broken as we get to quantum computing? Yes. It's something to definitely worry about. It's because at some point somebody could use a quantum computer and completely destroy or manipulate Bitcoin so that they can move all the money from wallets into one wallet.
Correct.
So right now, is it, based off of what we know about Bitcoin right now, is it a good place to store your your value, and is it digital gold as it's looked at? You could say so, yeah. And then where does one start? I would look into, what are you into as far as investments? What type of investments do you trust? Right? So for me, two things that I studied. One, I studied a bunch on banks and how they work. And that's what got me interested in cryptos that will be utilized by banks. The second thing I like is gaming. So that's another thing that I would take my time to study on. And then look into cryptos that are in the space that you're interested in so that you can actually invest time in learning. I mean, this isn't financial advice. Do your own homework. I'm not telling you to choose any one of these cryptos. I just want to make that very clear. I'm not telling you to choose any one crypto, but what I'm saying is what would be the point to control it, as its value is based on people using it. Okay, so it's based off of people using it, but the weakness of systems like that, when somebody else has so much value that they can buy up most of the supply, now they control it, because at any time they can artificially inflate or deflate the value of whatever that token is, right? How do they do that? They can push through and sell a bunch all at once, or they can push through and buy a bunch all at once. So they can manipulate the price. One of the things that was doing that for sure was when most of the miners were in China. Most of the biggest miners for Bitcoin were in China, and they had most of the supply. So when you have that much Bitcoin, you can easily remove that from the market or add it back in. But manipulation is a big thing when it comes to a system that's based, when it's not spread out enough and there's certain actors that have most of the Bitcoin. Things that are scarce will carry some value. Yes, they will.
That's why Bitcoin will always be the daddy, because Bitcoin has a finite amount. It was only 24 million Bitcoin ever. That's all there will ever be. And then there's 6 or 7 million that's been lost over the years that cannot be recovered, can't find the wallets, don't have the passcodes to get in. See, that's what used to kill me, Stephen, when federal governments would say, "Oh, we recovered 3 Bitcoin. We recovered 1,000 Bitcoin." It's not like they hacked the system to get them. They forced whoever had the keys to cough up the keys. And when I say keys, it's the security phrases. Mm-hmm. So that people know. Maybe you might want to explain to everybody what security keys are when it comes to your wallets.
And that's kind of something that you have to take into account. Do you feel like you can be responsible and custodian your own crypto? Because that's basically saying you're going to become your own bank. Can you custodian your own crypto? If you don't think you can custodian your own crypto, then you're going to be relying on systems where your stuff can be taken from you. Hey, you didn't pay your taxes, so we're going to take 80% of your crypto. Why not? You have to, it's the burden's on you to prove that you paid your taxes. You know, oh, you're a flight risk, you're whatever. Okay, we're going to freeze your assets. You can't do that if your crypto is stored on the blockchain on your own personal device.
That's right.
I forgot. I don't know what my keys are off the top of my head. You're not going to get them from me.
Well, that's what they tell you, man, when you first set up that wallet, right? Whether it be a Nano, a Ledger, whether it be something on your phone, whatever listen, any hardware wallet is better than no hardware wallet and leaving your assets on an exchange.
Yep.
Always. It's like we tell you in the rideshare game. I never leave my money at the end of each shift. I transfer my money out. Does it cost me 50 to 85 cents? Yep. But you know what? I know where the money is.
Yep.
Because if one of these apps decide to say, oh, you know what? We're shutting down business now. And I got, $1,000 sitting in there. My money's gone. I just became a debt collector.
Look, but that's my point, Silver Fox. If you store your crypto yourself in your own private wallet, it's basically untouchable. Unless you give somebody your keys to this. Unless you give your keys away, anybody who has your keys is going to have access to your crypto. Nobody else will have access to it. But if it's on a website, they can, it's just like a bank. You got to look at these crypto exchanges as banks, because that's basically what they are. Look, the governments have already proven what they're willing to do in order to get access to your crypto. They're going all out trying to get your personal information just because you want to buy crypto now, right? Yep. So they want to tax it and which, hey, they can take their taxes. I'm not saying anything about that, but what I'm saying is, if you leave it in a place where it's susceptible, where somebody else is making the decision for your crypto, they're probably going to make the decision that you don't want for your crypto.
Yep.
I'd rather pay it out when I'm ready to pay it out.
Exactly.
I can't.
And you see, here's an example, right? Silver Fox, you know what they wouldn't be able to do? They wouldn't be able to get your crypto out of your ledger. They can get your money, your fiat, from any bank, any system that you have, credit card, debit card, whatever. They can get you there. You know where they can't get you? Can't get you in Bitcoin.
Well, they can't get you in your hardware wallet.
So as long as you don't give them the keys, they can't get in. That's just the way it is.
So the prime example of that was, I was telling Richie this actually, when Canada was having the strikes with the truckers, there was people that were supporting them by giving them Bitcoin. But of course, they were giving them Bitcoin through their addresses that were going to, let's just say it was Coinbase. I don't know if it was Coinbase for sure, but I'm just going to use them as an example. So what did the government do? They claimed them as terrorists. They claimed them as terrorists and froze their assets. The only way the government's going to be able to come in and freeze your crypto is if you leave it on the exchange.
That's it.
They were trying to get to these guys' wallets and they couldn't. And they learned it the hard way. But that's the thing. The government showed their hands what they can do in order to get access to your crypto. That's why they regulate these companies so hard.
Yep. Well, Steven, we need to make this a regular thing, sir.
I think we do.
You know, we've been on here an hour.
Yeah.
and in that hour, we broken 33,000, right? We broken 30.
Yeah, we got up to 35, right?
Right. We broke 35,000. The green dotted line there is the 35,000 mark. We're holding. So a little consolidation in here. You can see in here, again, you're understanding the volume range profile right here, right? You can see what's happening. There's a little bit of a battle in here, buyers and sellers. At some point, this has got to retrace and breathe. On the 15-minute chart, the RSI is pretty high. We like the RSI. relative strength index. So once we break above this area here, Stephen, because you say you don't follow charts much, but once we're in this range here, okay, we're approaching overbought.
Okay.
When we're way down here below the 30, we're oversold. Okay, so let me show you an example.
Hey, Silver Fox, like I said, I don't know where my key. I don't have my keys off the top of my head. That ain't gonna work on me. They can be they can physical violence all they want. I don't know what my keys are.
Oh, the waterboarding.
Yeah, I don't know what they are, so they're not gonna be able to get it from me.
Well, there we go, bro. I mean, this is pretty good. This is pretty good. So I guess wait and see overnight how it goes.
Yeah.
With the Bitcoin. So anyway, I don't know if you guys enjoyed the little Bitcoin talk, the little crypto talk, but Steven, part of the Garage Network is we got people who enjoy news. We talk news, we talk rideshare, we talk stocks, we talk cryptocurrency. I actually have two guys that are really into crypto that are much more knowledgeable, I think, than myself, even though I understand it completely. I don't get into all the nitty-gritty details of it. I know what blockchain does. I know which assets make me money. I know which don't. That's all I care about. I don't mess.
And I can talk to you guys about NFTs and all that stuff, and what is it? Also buying land in the metaverse. And I know I'm not talking about Facebook metaverse. That's garbage. I'm talking about real metaverses out there that are going to be the anchor points for how people buy, sell, trade, advertise. It's going to be insane.
Well, so if you don't have his other channel, Steven's other channel is the Unbroken Asset, ASSET, right? And so we're going to log in on that channel. We'll bring this channel along. I want to get his Unbroken Asset channel moving pretty good. So I hope you guys will join us. I don't know when we'll go live again with the crypto news in the cryptoverse, but we appreciate y'all joining us.
Yeah, thank you for jumping in.
Steven, got anything you want to say before we get
out
of here?
Yeah. Hey, buy yourself a hardware wallet. I don't care which one you buy. I don't care. Get yourself a hardware wallet. Get yourself a hardware wallet. I have more over there. Get yourself a hardware wallet. And the cool thing is, if you have multiple hardware wallets and you have to give one up, what's it called? Somebody told me this. They decided to buy extra wallets so that they could actually use them for purchases, and then buy an extra wallet. So if somebody is harassing you for your hardware wallet, you can give it to them. They let you go or whatever, and they have a dummy one or one with very small amount of your crypto on it. Having more is actually better. So that's all I can say. That's.
And certain wallets you can only store certain assets on them.
Right. So the reason why I bought this is because it has the compatibility with most of the cryptos. And then so does this one. The Ledger has probably one of the best compatibilities out there with most cryptos.
Yeah, they're the good ones. All right, so we're gonna get out of here. I appreciate y'all joining us. I know it was an impromptu thing. We're trying to bring more opportunities to our people, to our friends, and you guys are our friends. So
that's a good. I might have to do some more research. Golden Rail. Oh, that's my buddy, Golden Rail. Many of the games, not that kind of buddy, Vinny. Not that kind of buddy. Many of the game worlds in Roblox run on blockchain.
I didn't say it.
I really I can't emphasize how much they have been hiring programmers and designers to create visually stunning worlds for people to start interacting with. You think it's by chance they designed this right along the time that they started working on VR and all these headsets and stuff? You're just not connecting the dots. They'll connect them for you, though. If you're not paying attention, they'll connect them for you. I only know one person that uses Facebook Meta, and he's a kid. It makes no sense. It's a very poor system. When you look at some of the other metaverses out there, they are much better designed and graphically look way better.
you're gonna have to take me into a metaverse. I haven't been into a metaverse yet. You got to get me into a metaverse. They got rideshare metaverse. Maybe I get some instead of sitting out there for the last 2 nights getting shit. God damn it. Shit. Terrible shit.
All right. Now
all right. Well,
believe it.
We're going to get on out of here now for sure this time. And we'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace out. Keep an eye on your Bitcoin.